Hi everyone, thank you for dropping by my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my favorite book about product development. And this book is called Badass Making User Awesome by Kathy Sierra. Kathy Sierra is a programming instructor and the co-creator of the Head First series. If you haven't heard of the Head First series, it's a series of programming book that is a little bit different from your typical programming books because it features a lot of visual element together with some fun activities and jokes. Like books in the Head First series, Badass Making Users Awesome also features a lot of pictures and funny stories. Flipping through the book, you wouldn't imagine that you are reading something for your job. Instead, it feels like you are reading a comic with all these balloons and some funny pictures. But don't let the whimsical presentation of the book fool you. Badass Making User Awesome actually offer a lot of insights about how to make good products. As product people, we strive to create desirable products that improve our user quality of life. However, this book helped me see that why creating good product is important. The thing that we should really aim for is creating badass users. Badass users? What does that even mean? Badass users are successful users, not at just solving the problem that your product addressed, but in a larger context that is meaningful for them. For example, I don't buy watercolor so that I can be an expert at mixing color. I buy watercolor so that it can help me become a better artist. Badass users also perceive things in a high resolution. They appreciate an advanced version of your product, and they also tell their friends about how your product actually helped them being a badass. So when you develop the products, don't just think make a better X. Instead, think about make a better user of X. So, how do we make badass users? Users typically start at different places on the ladder of competence. To help users climbing up the ladder from beginner to badass, we have to help them with two things. One, we have to actually help them get better. And two, we have to help keep them wanting to get better. For number one, we can help our users get better by expose them to the right things so they know what is good. For example, if your users want to be a good programmer, you can expose them to a lot of good code. And if your users want to be an artist, you can expose them to a lot of good artwork. And when they know what is good, we can help them practice their skills in the right way. Imagine three buckets of skill that your users need to develop to become a badass. Bucket A contains skills that they cannot do yet. Bucket B contains some skills that they can do, but they have to make some effort to do it. And bucket C are the skills that they already master and can do it without any effort. We want to help our users move their skill from bucket A to bucket C as soon as possible. One way that we can help them is by dividing a large skill into subset of skills that they can practice in a few deliberate practice sessions. In this way, they can move a little piece of skill from bucket A into bucket C without having to pile a lot of stuff on bucket B. And the reason for this is because we want our users' journey from beginner to badass to be as smooth and quick as possible. Bucket B is where the user will have to expend some mental energy or effort in order to complete. We want to keep the number of skills in bucket B as low as possible. An example for this is, let's say your users want to learn how to be a guitar master. Maybe they can do something very simple first. Let's say you can have a deliberate practice session of holding an F chord, and when the time comes, once they master the skill of holding an F chord, when they play the song, they don't need to even think about how to hold the F chord anymore. It will just become automatics. Now they can actually focus their attention on learning other things instead. On number two, we can help our users keep wanting to become better by providing them a roadmap to keep them motivated. For example, if your users want to become a badass YouTuber, you can give them some sort of a pathway that show them the progress of making their first video on an iPhone to 1,000 subscribers, to 10,000, to 1,000,000. We can also help them remove blockers through their journey. For example, when things get hard, that is when people quit. But that is a common process to developing any kind of skills. So you can just tell them outright that you expect it to be hard, but it's gonna be better. And everything we have been talking about making users awesome so far, it also boils down to one thing, which is back to the basic of product design. How can we design a product that actually make it easier for the user, reduce their cognitive effort on using the tools so that they can focus on the task and become badass at what they want to be? That's it for now. Thank you for watching to the end. If you want to see more video from me, please hit the subscribe button below and I will see you next time. Thank you.